So I get this call from Sony, and they asked me if I want to go to Alaska.
I immediately knew that something great was going to happen.
One of the challenges they were putting to me was the idea that I can only bring 10 kilos of gear. This camera replaces any other camera in the arsenal that I have. I don't need anything else other than this.
So you need a whole. Okay, this is this is how it works.
You put a bunch of nerds about cameras and lenses together and you get dinner around fire and only lens talking. First thing I noticed about the NEX 6 is that the integrated viewfinder is top of the line electronic viewfinder around. It gives the photographer the ability to quickly tune white balance and exposure.
A friend of mine showed me the camera one day and I put my eye up to the eyepiece and it was like, oh my God, this is amazing. It knows when you put your eye up to the eyepiece, it's going to switch over to the eye, but then the screen will turn off down below.
Oh, what is that?
It's a little Rudolph.
There is also this new welcome program dial here, which makes moving from aperture priority to manual mode very quick. And I still have the back dial to control the other things like ISO or exposure.
I took some low light photographs of Luca, and it was interesting to work with the different ISO settings and sort of low light capabilities of the camera. And I was actually really impressed. So one of the difference between myself and Luca really has to do with our backgrounds, but also the fact that he doesn't really drink that much whiskey. So, but
I have a whole series of societal bunnies pictures in which I show how I feel. Oh, there's a large bear coming. Yeah, I have the bear pepper with me, so that's a big one.
When I'm shooting a photograph, I'm always thinking in the terms of context, of telling a story not just in that moment, but maybe in a series of moments. Luca is a master at really grabbing a specific moment in time and really imbuing it with a weight, that I think has to do with his response to the way light falls on things. I mean, we were talking the other day about how he says, well, it's Caravaggio, I was like, yeah, it totally is.
That was awesome. Was that good for you?
Yeah, it's good.
And this new lens, the 1650, it's a pancake lens, very well welcomed because NEX systems are walk-around cameras.
I mean, it was the perfect lens to bring out here because it was great at a wide. I used it a lot for really tight spaces, like in the plains and stuff like that, as well as at the glacier. You're taking really sort of trying to cover a broad range of space.
The other unique feature is that the E-mount is probably a shorter mounts ever built, which makes the NEX systems virtually able to mount any kind of lenses ever built.
Gotta love panorama mode on these. It's pretty cool.
On the program dial, you just select the landscape mode. Then with the dedicated dial, you could choose the direction of landscape. Choose an aperture which is close enough to get everything in focus. You set the exposure, and then what you need to do is to control the edges.
The other thing which amazes me is this new flash socket here, which is designed to work with any standard flash around.
I took a lot of shots, HDR shots in the cabin of the plane actually when we were flying, because that's a perfect example of how the sky is too bright and everything is dark in the inside of the cabin. So if you flip on HDR, you're suddenly able to get the sense of the cabin as well as the skyline exteriors without anything blowing out.
To me, a tool has to be something which doesn't get in the way between me and the rest of the world, so it makes representing my vision of the world as quick and easy as possible.
The camera is really unobtrusive, simple and small and really easy to use, so it doesn't overtake a person who's being photographed.
Photography to me is not a way to document reality, it's more a way to transform reality for just 1 second into my world.
Photography is a disease which there's currently no cure. The whole idea behind this trip was really to sort of push the limits of the NEX 6. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think we really pushed it to the edge. I never felt limited by it. It's a great camera.